What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are installing our Sherpa roof rack on our 4th Gen Tacoma. Let's get after it. All right, so we have our little helper here. Louis is going to walk us through all the different parts that are here. So, Louis, do we have 2 front mounts? We do? Yep, right there, marked F. Thank you. We have the rear mounts. I would really like it if you could maybe back up a little bit, bud. Thank you. All right, sit. Good boy. All right, front mounts, rear mounts. We have the spacers there. There's 2 different sets. There's the thick set and the thinner set. So the thicker ones are for your rears. The thinner ones are for the front. So you can see those right there. Let's see here. There we go. So two different sizes. You can see these are 2 different sizes. We have some different bolts here. These are going to be the bolts that actually mount, that are going to go through the spacers down into the roof racks. The thicker ones are for the rears. The thinner ones are for the front. We have a ton of washers. We have these kind of bonded washers, I think they call these. What are these? Yeah, bonded washers. So these are bonded washers. These will go between the bolt head, and it kind of just creates that little rubber seal. Obviously we got the Loctite, and all the other. This is going to be for the little emblem. That's for that piece. We got a ton of T-slots. All right. So basically, when you're mounting this on the vehicle, you do the cross members first. So we'll take one of these guys here on both ends. We slot these on here, as so, and then these get mounted up to the truck. So you do your fronts, you do your rears, obviously, and then once you have those, then you do your side plates, and then once you get your side plates done, then you can do the rest of these. So 2 of your cross member bars, so your front and your rears, those are static. Those aren't going to go anywhere. Those are locked into place. At that point, then, outside of your fairing, all the other crossbars you can kind of move as you see fit. Now, what's nice is, on these channels, which I'll hold this. So a few of these are dedicated. Like, I want to say, like, that is, I think that's where your rears go, and then that one up there is where your fronts go. The rest, you're going to have a lot of flexibility, a lot of different anchor, like, lockdown points, but your crossbars are going to be able to slot between all these. So I'm not going to actually, like, record me, like, building the actual components. I think that's kind of ridiculous. This stuff is super straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and build the front and the rear, but I will come back to the video when we actually get it mounted on the truck. So here we go. All right, I lied. I'm just going to show the installation of one of the feet. So you drop in these little T-slots, and I'm doing this with one hand. So yes, you can technically slide these in, but once the racks are up there, they also work where you can just drop it in at a little bit of an angle, like that. Take your feet, couple of these M6s with a washer on it. Now, one thing I do recommend is hand tighten everything up front, and then go back and actually crank everything down. Just make sure you remember to do that, because you're gonna want these to be loose, because you're gonna want a little play to slide things in and out. But once you're ready and you cinch these down, these will lock in. So I don't remember exactly how much space is needed, but one thing will be important is, once we get this on the truck, you're going to want to make sure that you have the rack centered as well. So I'm going to finish building out the feet for both the front and the rear. I've already added in the spacers. So you have the thin ones which go in the front, and then we have the thick ones that go in the rear. So the thick ones are very noticeable compared to your thin ones. So that's a front, and I already have the bolts as well, the thicker ones for those. Boom, boom, boom. These are bonded washers. We have our Loctite, so we're ready to rock and roll. Be back in a minute. So one thing that I will recommend you do is you'll have to take out these. I'll take out these channels. I took mine out already a couple days ago, and I just put a piece of tape. You're going to want to make sure your roof is pretty clean. Once you have your rack up here It's not that you can't clean the roof anymore, it just gets obviously a little bit harder. So I did a good wax and I did another ceramic coating on this. So the roof is nice and super clean. We were gonna do a wrap up here, but we're not. But yeah, you wanna get these pieces cleared out, and that's where that's where those rubber feet will stick, and then that's where the mount goes. So we just finished getting this ready to rock and roll, and finish the install. So one thing to remember after you put a little Loctite is you're going to use your little bonded washer as well. The little rubber gasket is going to be going down on that bad boy. And then you're just going to insert that all the way in. It is going to be a little on the tighter side. That's okay. There you go. Same thing here. Boom. And then 10 millimeter will get the job done. So once you just kind of push in on that a little bit, you'll see it start to grab, and then you're set. And like I said, these are bowed a little bit, as you can see. If I put it like right there, it bows up a little bit. That compression between that little rubber gasket there is what you're looking for. And that's what the bonded washer does, and that is what your final look should be. Again, we're still pretty loose up here, and that's by design because we're going to need to move, we're going to need to make sure that this is centered this way, and we'll just do that. We'll just simply take a measurement from the outer post here to the end of the 80 to the extrusion, and then we'll just obviously give it a visual inspection as well. So I'm going to finish getting these screwed in. Hope this audio picks up because the mic is way over there, but one thing that I recommend doing too is always have a couple extra shop towels with you and lay them on your roof, because you're gonna, at times you're gonna want to be able to put, you know, the bolts that you're working on, or the nuts, your tools down. You obviously don't want to scratch your paint, and I like to use something that's a little high contrasting. In this case, I'm using this blue towel. That way everything, you know, sometimes these can be easily lost on the paint themselves, but if I have them there, I know where everything is. It's just good to always have a couple extra shop towels. I just always keep a bucket there. This is actually just a dirty one from some buffing earlier, so we're just going to finish getting this done. But little tip that I like to share is always keep some extra shop towels available. So working on the rear now, one thing to note is you'll see these plates are slightly angled one way. They're like a little bit of aggressiveness. The reason for that is if you had this reversed the other way, this bar would sit really far back and would actually hit the antenna. So you want them slanted towards the front of the truck. And again, bonded washers, a little Loctite, and we're going to drop those right in. So that's what we're going to do now. Again, another reason why you want your shop towel here, because you don't want to get this stuff on your car. Just going to slot that bad boy on. Now, I don't know the exact torque specs for this. I will probably reach out to Sherpa to see if they have that documented or what their recommended torque specs, but that is definitely something I would recommend doing and or knowing. And if I'm able to get that information before I publish this video, I will put it on the screen right now. Otherwise, I'll add it in the description after the fact. Now, one thing too is you can tighten these all the way down, because that's not going to affect your ability to move the bars, because this is static. It's this that we're going to need to keep kind of loose. And again, you want these hand loose because we want to be able to shift these bars. Back and forth. So I'm going to finish tightening these up, both sides. And then that looks like it actually backs down, hits the bottom there. And there you go. So like I said, you will see the little rubber there kind of squeeze out just a little bit. That's totally normal. That's just creating that nice seal between this bolt, the plate, and then this bottom rubber gasket. So this is effectively what you're looking at. I've been doing the rack now for probably about 20 minutes. And now once I get this centered and tightened down, I already got this one. So that was 4 7/8. I measured from the back of this post to the front here. That was the easiest place for me to get my tape measure. So that was 4 7/8, and I was able to get that. This in theory should also be 4 7/8, but we're going to do our measurements to double check and make sure everything's good. You'll see here this is threaded because that is where your 1/4-20 screws will go in. And so the next thing we'll do is we'll do the side plates. Once the side plates are on, we can put the rest of our bars on. We'll do our front fairing. We'll unbox our light, and then we are done. So time to get everything measured up. We got everything bolted up, front and rear. 4 7/8 spacing on the front, 5 1/8 here. So I measured again from this point to the end here, and it's 5 1/8 with just like a slight, like a half of a 16th, like another eighth, I guess. But so everything's locked in. I went ahead and tightened these down as well. So that's a 7/16 socket or wrench will do it for you. Again, so we're done with our 10 mil because these are already done. So now it's just a matter of getting our side plates put on. So the side plates will take these 1/4-20s with a washer and then a 5/32 Allen will do it. I highly recommend going to Harbor Freight and getting a set of these Allen keys for both SAE and metric. These things are an absolute game changer. So we're going to go in, and one thing that I like to do when it comes to these is I like to preset a handful of these with the nut or the bolt and a washer, just like that. Just get a handful of them pre-ready to rock and roll because it'll make your life so much easier. So I'll go ahead and actually get these probably all done. I grab 4 of these. Oh, I missed one. So 4 of these 1/4-20s. I'll get my 5/32, and what I'll do is I'll just stage it up here. And this is gonna be the tricky part because I'm only doing this one person, so I will just walk it up and then hold it and then just start to get these threaded on nice and neat. So I'm gonna place the camera up here. I hope that's a good angle. That looks about right. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so I'm gonna just place this right here, just like that. Once you get one on, you're golden. Boom. And that is that. A little stressful. And then the other thing you're just going to do is you're going to... All right, so super fast forward. We got the side plates on, and we went ahead and we did each of the individual crossbars, which are... That part's is self-explanatory. What we've also gone ahead and done is we've gone ahead and mounted up our Diode Dynamic SS40 dual light bar. It's the dual color, so it's the amber and the clear, and we're able to leverage our old brackets from our SS5s, which technically work. It does sit up a little higher, so I'm gonna have to order newer brackets that will sit a little bit lower, and I did lower the fairing down a little bit more, which I technically, let's see if I can get this. I have room. I can actually go a little bit lower, but I think I should clear the garage. Like if we look right there, I think I'll clear the garage because once the rear tires, because my garage starts to slope down a little bit. So I think I'm going to be okay, which is going to be great because there's other things that I wanted to mount on the rack that would sit just about that high up. So as long as that distance right there clears, I'm hoping it does. If not, then I'll have to take this off and I'll have to rethink that. But all in all, that's the end deal. So the fairing attaches to another set of 80/20 with those T-nuts, and there's 6 of them, so 2, 4, 6 with the shorter 1/4-20s. And then your 1/4-20, 9/16 or 7/16, I believe, those are what you use to mount all your crossbars. So again, this bar here And this bar back there, those are static. These cannot move because they are attached to the legs right there. But the rest of these, so that bar, this one, and the one in the rear, these can all slide around based upon how I want to have the truck, or how I want to kind of orient the, call it those bars. So I definitely am a big fan of the way the light bar is working, or the overall look of the light bar. I do kind of wish that they made like a 42, or like even like a 40, maybe like a 45. I think there's just enough space where I think I would personally like to see that whole thing just completely covered corner to corner. And I also definitely think I'm going to want to get those other brackets because that's a pretty big gap there. That's pretty noticeable. So there's really nothing I can do about that for right now. I do know I'm really excited that when I do get the second half of my rack put on, this is going to carry very nicely, you know, across, because when I got this one, I also got 48-inch crossbars. That way we're going to have, you know, hopefully a lot of, you know, symmetry going straight down. That's another reason why I put the different struts on, which if we look here, I'm thinking I should be okay when I look at, that's going to be super, super close. I may have to put just a slightly smaller strut just to lower that just a little bit more, because that's going to be super close. But hopefully it works. That would be ideal. But that's it. I mean, the Rainier rack, I think all said and done, this took me about 2.5 hours all said and done. That's with me taking a stop because I had a phone call from a buddy. But overall, as long as I can get out of the garage, which that's the plan right now, let's just test that. But yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, this is a super, super clean rack. It's, you know, when it comes to the 4th gen, I would say it's probably one of the more popular ones. Sherpa definitely makes, in my opinion, some of the best products out there. And they're not paying me to say that. I chose to work with Sherpa. I reached out to them. They did not reach out to me. So I'm super pumped for the second half of the rack going on the Smart Cap. And I'm just happy to have a rack back on the truck again. I love how it kind of overall, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of how it just kind of like brings the truck together, you know, from an overall aesthetic standpoint. Mounting points, I got to put my Agency 6 grab handles back up there, so I'll get those on there. I need to finish getting this wired up. I got to do my wire chase here, which is I got that from Mitchell over at Blaze, so I just got to get my glass cleaned up and get that attached, and then just finish those little pieces there. So that's it. Let's get out of the garage. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace. Let's try to get this thing out of the garage. See if we get out. That'd be awesome. Here we go. Oh, that scared me. Music came on. I thought I hit something. Oh, we fit. We fit. How much room do I have? I'll stop right there. Oh, it works. I won't have to adjust. I could probably bring the fairing up a little bit. Oh, there is tons of room. That just goes to show how much higher the SS5 sit, because the SS5s I wasn't gonna fit in my garage. Those things sit up super tall. Oh, I got plenty of room. I'm raising this back up just a smidge. I'm just gonna be able to leave it. Now I can mount the rest of my lights up here. I can do those C2s on the side because, yeah, I have plenty of room. Booyah. All right, now we're on. Talk to you next one. Peace.